Hello Stamper! Welcome to Frenchie's video. I'm Frances Martin, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I'm going to share with you how to do a scenery with Let It Ride. So if you see this one here, this is a watercolor, very a wash, so it is drippy, and watercolor a lot of time, that's the way it is. But if you see, my trees are in the back, and I got the horse here, it look in the back of there, so it's all with masking. So let's get started. So I'm going to be using Stays On. The reason, number one, it's because it's on watercolor paper, and I will watercolor. So on watercolor paper, you get one side that it's smooth, one side that it's rough. All in personal choice. It's nothing that it's a must this or must that. It is personal choice. Forget to grab a clean paper, so we're going to recycle the paper here. Here we go. So we're going to start. I did 2 masks, and if you see, I use them quite often. So what I do mask, I keep it in my stamp case, because you don't have to do that over and over. You can use it. It is a little bit of time consuming the first time, but after that it's good. And if you see, I didn't went between the legs there. It's not important there. I started and I'm like, no use. So I just cut around the horses at the top. So let's bring our Stays On here, and then we're gonna stamp. You want to make sure that it's very well inked. So I'm going to stamp one right here about. I'm going to give a good impression. Then we're going to mask this like so. And then we're going to go ahead and do the horse that's going to look in the back of those one. These one are in the front, and the second here, it's in the back. So I'm going to come right here. So you see, if I wouldn't mask that on top, well, the horse would have been walking on top of the other horse, and that wouldn't be nice. See, you would be right on top of it. But now when I remove this, see, it got that for illusion that he is in the back of it. Now we're gonna stamp another. I don't like pairs, I like odd number. So I'm gonna go ahead, write one here at the bottom. Voila. Now we're gonna use our mask again for the trees, because you don't want the trees on top of the horses. So I'm gonna have one there, and then have one over here. Sure it's covered there. Oh, this one it's not covered right. I can see it's Billy, or maybe it's the way I cut it. No, here we go. Now we got it. Now we're going to take the trees that it's part of this stamp set, that it's part Let It Ride. I'm looking where my case is. Oh, here it is. This is the new set. It's a cling stamp, and it's a set of 9. Let It Ride. Love it. I love any outdoorsy masculine set. So now I'm going to take all olive, and we're going to stamp the trees. Oh, see, I rocked my stamp there. No biggie, we're going to fix that. There. And here. And then I'm going to put right here. Just add a little, so it's kind of, they're walking through the wood, let's put it that way. So now that we get that done, now we're going to do all the coloring. And when it comes to the coloring, let me share with you how I done this. I use soft suede and some basic gray, and what I done, I use my clear block and tap it on to get my ink there, so I don't have to use my lid, so then I can keep this closed. And I did the same thing with basic gray. Here it is, basic gray. And then For the grass, you see I got the little grass here. I thought it needed something. That's from the stamp set High Tie. So I used the tiny little grass from the High Tie to add that. But that I did that all the way at the end. And I'm looking for, here it is, my inky rag. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to squeeze our water here. And I won't do the whole coloring because really I wanted to show you how to. And see, now I'm going to remove this here. I'm going to remove those things that we went... It looked like a mess. Don't you worry. It's going to fix itself. It's going to stay maybe a little bit of like that. You know what? We can fix that easy now. Let me do one thing. We're going to fix that. So we're going to bring back our horses here. And I'm going to do the stamping, but we're going to do stamp off. So stamp off, and then see another layer there. So it won't even show. So it looked like I got a bit of in the back. The first thing you want to do, and I was debating if I should have done, let me do another block here. Do a blue wash first, and I didn't do it. So what you want to do is take a little bit of blue, and I just squeeze it to make sure it's not too much, and just add very little of the blue. You're going to say, well, that's not little, but see, it start going down. So it's just little. Don't worry about the green, because we're going to get even worse than that with the green. So we're going to really wash that. So I'm just adding a little bit of blue at the top for the sky. Now you're going to see this is all washed. Absolutely. I just came and do my wash of my trees. See? You don't want to do too much, so you're going to lose all the shape of your trees. You just want to do a little wash there. And some going to be more washed than other. All depend how much water you put. And I don't know if you see, I keep on dipping on my rag there. When I get too much water, I just keep on dipping. Because sometimes even if you don't squeeze it, it's going to, you know, come down. So see, now I got, that's really watercolor wash. Now for the horses, like I said, I just did a little bit here and there. You can leave some patch, whatever you want your color horse. And I didn't do no shading or nothing like that. Really, I just slobbed some color on it. See? And don't forget the tail too. The tail need a little bit of the outline of the horse. So I would do all my horse like this. And let's do a gray one here. Gray, black, whatever it is. I'm going to keep a little bit of white in his face. Now I need a little bit more water. Can you hear that? It go. It's not my belly, that was the water there. Here we go. So now you see between the color, oh, this one I need a little, I wanted to keep some white, but I like to have the top too. And then if you come back, it's a lot better that if you come back and you let it dry. If not, you're just going to have a mess. Now for the green, that I had, my palette was very used. So I just went and did a little bit of a wash. And then I came with my green. And on top of the green, I added some brown too. And just add some, like more like a pasture, put it that way. So you see here, I just go in between, very little in the, between the horses, because I don't want it too much to drip there. So you see, it's, how can I say that? A lot of time we judge our card before it's dry, and then let me tell you, it gets ugly before it is get pretty. So I just tap a little bit. Now here I'm going to add a little bit more of the blue. You see it was missing a bit. Here we go. So I just mix my colors like this, and for me, I like it when it looks drippy like that. That it's not for everybody, but for me, I absolutely love it. So now I'm just going to brush this a little bit more here. So now I could add some brown. Okay, so when you would done all your watercolor, then you're going to come and I would let that dry. See, I think it's summertime now because it's less green and more brown, so the pastures start to dry, right? All under where I had the grass, though, I went when it was dry, and I add all where you see the little line of the grass under the horses, that I did add that darker there. That I sure did that. Okay, when that is all dry, you're going to take the tiny, oh, I need this. You're going to take the tiny little grass from high tie, and then you know what, let's set that a little bit. It's way too wet. It's just going to run. Oh, see, I got a big drip here. And I can always come back and add more. We're just going to, oh, I got more here too. Here we go. Just like that a little bit so I can show you how I done the grass. So then you get a little clue. And it still would be too wet. I mean, I like to let it really dry. And then I would come and just add, see, it's still bleeding a bit, but that's okay. Just add a bit of grass here and there, wherever you feel like. And see, you can stamp one, stamp again. So that would be about good for me. Maybe a little bit more right here. Here we go. And then I did just a little bit of like under. See, so it's a little line there. You don't even have to add more to your brush. Just wash that a little bit. And then when it's all dry, then I'm going to come and put my grading. I will have all the dimension and the size of all the cardstock, Old Olive, Early Espresso, and the watercolor paper, and inside it's Whisper White. I just stamped the 3 in the corner. That's a Z fold here. Let me see, it's just stand like this. So I will have all the measurement on my blog at FrenchieStamps.com. You get the direct link below in the description or above in the eye. And then make sure that it's completely dry before you stamp your greeting. And the greeting, it is in the, another lovely set, Country Road. I thought those two was going perfect together. So this is it on how to get your scenery that really look like in depth, in, you know, going further out a scenery. That's it. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. Again, all the Stampin' Up product, it's available at my blog at FrenchieStamps.com for anyone in the US. Bye-bye for now.